Okay, much like graphing, there are some steps that you will take in order to write equations for inequalities. To write an inequality in two variables from a graph, the first thing you're going to want to do is write the equation for the borderline. But you're going to leave out the equation, the equal symbol, equal sign. So for instance, here I have the borderline has a y-intercept of 4 and a slope of -2. So I'm going to leave out the inequality symbol. Then you decide, is it shaded above or below? If it's shaded above, you should use the greater than or equal symbol, equal sign. If it's shaded below, you will use the less than or equal to sign. So here it's shaded below. So I know that this is going to be a less than or equal to. Then you know it's dashed. You're going to keep it as less than or greater than, and if it's solid, you will make it less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. This is solid, so I'm going to say or equal to. And there is my inequality. Y is less than or equal to -2x plus 4. Okay. So with the next two, go ahead and pause the video and try out writing the inequality. Alright, check your answers and see how you've done. If we're writing an inequality in two variables from a table, you can be as creative as you want. As long as it works for all ordered pairs given, it's a satisfactory inequality. So here, you can see if it is, you could make an equation for a borderline and just make sure you include the or equals to symbol. You can graph the points and just make any line that you want as long as it makes a true statement. So these are linear because you have a constant rate of change. So you could have, this has a slope of 4. These are in a line, but if we want an inequality, we could say, okay, y is less than 4x. Is that true? Well, 38 is less than 10 times 4. 2 is less than 1 times 4. -6 is less than -1 times 4. So this is true. You could use the y-intercept if you wanted, but you would have to include the or equal to sign. So yes, 38 is greater than or equal to 4 times 10 minus 2. You could get lazy. You could say, hey look, all of my x values are less than 11. Or you could look at your y values and say, hey, all my y values are greater than or equal to -6. So for a table, unless they give you restrictions in the directions, almost anything goes. To write an inequality from a situation, you have to read the situation and translate into a number sentence. A Boy Scout troop sold cider and donuts to raise money for charity. They sold small boxes of donut holes for $1.25 and cider for $2.50 a gallon. So if you think about that, that would be a standard form or almost standard form. Since we have decimals, it's not true standard form. And you could say, okay, well, they're selling $1.25 per box of donut holes, and their cider is $2.50 per gallon. So I used a C for cider. But the important part comes, in order to cover their expenses, they need to raise at least $100. At least. At least is a word that means minimum. And if you have a minimum, that means you want more. You want what they make to be more than $100. But if they make $100, it's okay. If you wrote the $100 first, you would need the $100 to be less than or equal to. Okay, so there's 2 more on this page. I want you to try them and then check your answers. Alright, so there's more practice in this document, and then you also have IXL practice.